So, today, doing something a little different. We are doing ourselves a little Mr. Mime solo run here. You saw us do this in yellow, and now we are doing it here in crystal as well. So, this was a really fun run to do, and over the course of time here you will understand. But here are the rules we are using. You'll see them shoot up right now. We're only using Mr. Mime in combat. We are allowed to heal if we need to. And from there, it's free reign. This should be interesting. So, we end up using the universal randomizer to put Mr. Mime in place of, I do believe, Chikorita. In that, I feel Typhlosion's just a harder boy to use over the course of a Gen 2 run. And we nicknamed him Mimosa, or no, we named ourselves Mimosa. We named him Larvy, by the way, as a nod to our boy Larvy Games on Twitch and to our yellow solo run that we did previous to this. He's a good boy. As we head out on our way to a most glorious, glorious day, we kind of run into a problem. That problem, you ask? Well, Mr. Mime only has barrier at level 5 in Crystal, so we have to utilize struggle. So here I'm just, dumping all my money into potions because we are going to need them. And then I finally get him down into struggle range, and I still have to heal. This took at least like a good 20 minutes to do. But in the end, as you fade into the night, I think we end up struggle grinding on these wild mons on Route 29 to eventually get Confusion at level 6. Because in yellow, we had it at level 5. This time we don't get it until level 6. Mystery Egg, acquired. Pokedex, acquired. And we are ready to set out into the vast world of Pokemon. It's gonna be fun. Let's see how the Mime does in Johto, shall we? Oh, well, hello there, Professor Elm. What you need? Oh, geez. It's a disaster. Oh, no. Professor Elm needs more security. Oh, what are we doing here? This motherfucker. So, we finally run into our rival, which, by the way, we end up naming Mojito to keep with the fancy alcoholic drink theme. So, in our first battle with the rival, granted, we probably did not need to set up the barrier that we did, because he just uses Leer turn 1. So then I'm just free to Confusion here, which I do believe is a 2-shot. But we do get the Confusion as well, which is nice. But, oh, and the hurt itself in good Confusion luck. 2-shot. This boy was easy clap. Alright, so we give Elm the egg here, and we're off to the races. So here we skip forward and we go catch ourselves a Bellsprout. He's going to be used for cut. That's literally all he's there for. He took like 3 balls for some reason, but here we are. We're going to flash forward to the gym. And normally you do Sprout Tower at this point, but so end up easy clapping the trainers, and now we're here with Faulkner. So Faulkner sends out his Pidgey, little bitty Pidgey, and then our Larvy, who at this point is level 10. We are going to set up a barrier because, Mud Slap is a thing with this gym, but Pidgey only goes for tackle. So We're gonna set up a second barrier because I like being a chunky boy. And he's only going for tackle here, but that one was a crit. So we are now free to just fire off confusions, thusly sending... Oh, that was a crit too. And sending that Pidgey to the bird afterlife. You'll notice that over the course of the run, that I didn't turn on set battle style till later, but excuse me. Anyway, the Pidgeotto ends up tanking a confusion, but he gets confused all the same, breaks through with the gust, but that only does 3 damage. Mr. Mime was like, bitch, I don't care about your gust. Hashtag it's mime time, bitch. Anyway, Pidgeotto goes down. First badge obtained. Oh, and we learn Substitute. That's going to help us in the next gym, of which you'll see here in just a moment. But we get our Zephyr badge and we are well on our way. So, through the magic of clever editing, we are here in Azalea Town. That guy might be trouble later. Oh, what's up, old man? So we go talk to Kurt to trigger the rocket mission. We gotta go save ourselves a few slowpokes here. Who decided slowpoke tails would have good enough flavor to want to sell them? And boom! Slowpoke well. Teleporting. So, the runs give me just about as much trouble as you think they would, especially when you have a psychic type on your team. They were so easy clap, I didn't even break a sweat with them. But speaking of breaking a sweat, it's gym time. And here we are at Bugsy. So this guy, you think he wouldn't give you trouble at first, but you'll understand as we go over the recap here. So this is attempt number 1 of 3. Obviously, he leads the Metapod as we knew it was going to happen. I didn't heal up all the way, which is going to cost me. Well, the Metapod only goes for Harden, and he also only has Tackle from here, so two confusions, the Metapod goes down. Here's where the problem comes in. Here's the problem. Scyther. Scyther having Fury Cutter. You'd think Fury Cutter is not that big a deal, right? Ow! I set up the barrier too late, and we're gonna Super Potion up. Maybe with the barrier in place, you know, we're gonna live a little longer. Forgetting that Fury Cutter increases in strength every time it's used, and the Scyther outspeeds us. So, therefore, we end up getting bopped. Alright, here is attempt number 2. And here's where we slowly figure out the strat that we're going to employ. So, with Metapod only having Hardened and Tackle, here's where we decide to start setting up a barrier. And get our barriers up, which works out because he only goes for Harden here. So we set up a second barrier. And then we get tackled, only 2 damage. So we set up a third barrier. So we're thinking we're free, but we also drop a sub in there. Oh, we are good and set up to just start rocking here. We hit the confusion, and it should be either a 1 or a 2 shot on the Metapod. In this case, it's going to be a 2 shot. So we hit the 2 shot. The Metapod's going to go down. Now we have 3 barriers in place going into the Scyther. Now, let's see how well we do here. So, alright, so we are free to confusion here. We're going to take the Fury Cutter, but that's also going to break the sub because it was a crit and super effective. So, we do piss poor damage on the Scyther there. And the second Fury Cutter, while it doesn't crit, brings us down to 6 health. So we confusion here, bringing him down to half. And here's, I think we're gonna pop the potion. Because here I'm hoping for a Fury Cutter miss because it's not the most accurate move in the world. But unfortunately it lands, thusly taking us out. Attempt number 3 is upon us. So, we have our strat figured out. Okay? We're still going to implore the 3 barriers and the sub. But now we have healing involved here as well. So we set up the sub turn 1. And then Metapod, thankfully, going for Harden there. Now we're going to set up our barriers. Try to take the least amount of damage possible here. And then the Metapod lands a tackle, but then again, we do have the substitute up, so... Because here I'm thinking I have free reign to set up on the Metapod. Because that's the only way we are going to have a shot against Scyther. So we get all 3 barriers set up. So our maxed out physical defense. Because remember, Bug is physical in Gen 2. So it takes 3 tackles for Metapod to break the sub. Now, here we're going to set the sub back up. And as we know, it is a 2-shot for us with confusion to kill off the Metapod. So, here I'm going to pop a heal. Because it takes 3 tackles for Metapod to break the sub. And we're on 2 of 3 at the moment. So now we're here to freely confusion. And then I do believe it is still a 2-shot from this point, unless it crits. Because, you know, looking back at these in post, I forget sometimes what all happened in the battle. Oh yeah, we ended up getting a Twitch raid at that point. Right in the middle of a gym battle. Speaking of which, these runs take place on Twitch. Watch them. Dab dab. Anyway. Because that 3rd tackle did not crit, the sub is still up, thusly leading to the 2-shot on the Metapod. Shout out to my boy Dark World Order, though. His link will be down below, as well as Larvae Games and any other Twitch streamer I reference in this particular video. Anyway, so there we get the level boost up to 17. Now here comes the Scyther. The Scyther's coming. What do? We do have the substitute. We're at full health. And we have +6 defense. So, this battle just got hella intense. So now, he actually missed the Fury Cutter there, which was a godsend for us because it allows us to get a free confusion hit. I feel if that Fury Cutter hits, the sub gets dropped instantly. There's the Fury Cutter that's going to pop the sub. Now, a crit kills from this range, otherwise it's definitely a 3-hit, or a 4-hit even. Here's the second Fury Cutter, which does half. Ow! But we luck out here with getting the confusion. So, this turn is a make or break turn right here. I thought about setting the sub back up just in case, but that would have cut my own health. But we get the confusion hit, as you see. I just like have the great reaction to it in the corner, and Scyther goes down. So from here, it's easy clap. Because then Bugsy has the Kakuna, which we all know is half poison. One confusion, I do believe, takes it out. We'll know here in a second. Yes, one confusion takes it out. We finally put down Bugsy. Get to level 18, it's all the same. And we defeat Bugsy, acquiring our second badge. But the worst is yet to come. Why, hello again, Mojito. So, we have our second rival battle before hitting in the Elix Forest, of which, as much as I love Silver as a character, oh man, I'll whoop his ass. Like, let's be honest here. He does not stand a chance against the Mime. The Ghastly is a one-shot. Let's see here. And then, obviously, the Zubit is going to be a one-shot as well, being half poison type. Gosh, bap! Zubat is getting bopped. Get out of here! Get out of here! And then next up is the Quilava, which I do believe is a one-shot as well. I don't remember off the top of my head, but. And then it tanked one. But then it sets up a smoke screen here. So my accuracy's dropped. I do slightly worry about that in this particular instance, but it's a 3-shot, but now he's got 2 smoke screens up. So I'm just like, into the fucking bucket it goes, and Quilava is down. So I did stress a little bit going into that, but Larvia beast! On to Whitney. Alright. Gen 2's pink-haired menace. The one, the only Whitney. So, you're gonna notice here in just a second, but I might have goofed going into Goldenrod for. That is a completely new moveset. I probably should have waited to put the elemental punches on the larvae, which you'll understand here why in a second. This gym battle took me 7 attempts, at least. But Clefairy ends up going down on try number 1 here. But Miltank, need I say more? So here I'm thinking I want to get the burn But Miltank outspeeds me. So I don't get the burn, unfortunately, but 2 stomps is going to take me out. We're going to have to grind here. Alright, and what is our probably like 7th attempt here? We come back to deal with Whitney at level 25. So, still rocking the same moveset. So, we Confusion the Clefairy, bringing it down to about 2/3. It gets a min roll on Double Slap. Thankfully, because that was like our best, like, we needed that min roll. Let's just leave it at that. We needed that minimum. So now we're going into Miltank, only taking barely 10 damage. So we now outspeed the Miltank because we're now 5 levels higher. Oh, we get to just short of half and roll out. We're gonna pop a Fire Punch here. Why I chose Fire Punch? I tried to go for the burn. But since that rollout did not take me out, we do a Confusion and 2 Fire Punches later to finally defeat Whitney. Oh, that was more stressful than you would have thought. Alright, we have finally reached Morty and Eckertique. So, the only real downside here is that every major battle between now and Red, easy claps. I'm gonna at least recap the battles for you, but from what you're gonna see a massive boss rush happen. But we get to Morty. Beverage. So he leads with the Ghastly, but as you expect it to be, Confusion one-shots. Like, Ghastly bopped. And I'm gonna send out the Haunter. I initially thought he might have sent out the Gengar at that point, but again, Confusion one-shot. Once again. And then here is where he's going to send out the Gengar. I really need to remember to set it to set style before going and doing the next run. But anyway, Gengar's going to go down, which surprisingly it lived on 1. But it missed the Hypnosis, so therefore the second Confusion's going to take it out. And the threat has passed. Now, if this was Gen 4 Gengar, I'd have been a little more worried. But we'll get to him later. So, the last Haunter is here. And it's going to be another Confusion one-shot. And boom. Haunter is, in fact, going to go down. And there is our 4th badge acquired. Alright, so, by the way, go follow my boy Damcam on Twitch, by the way. He did just sub to me in that instance. But, here we are for the Chuck fight. And it's gonna go as easily as you think it's gonna. So here, obviously, he only has the 2 Pokemon. Both of which are weak to Psybeam, which we have acquired since Morty. But here we are. It's literal one-shots, y'all. The Primate's gonna be bopped. Like, Primate did not stand a chance. A little quick cameo from Honey. Honey likes to jump up on me in these cases like that, so. Well, here comes the Poliwrath. And it's gonna go just how you expect it to. Bam! There's the Psybeam. I booped Honey's snoot with my snoot. And then Poliwrath goes down. One shot, easy pop. On to the next gym. Here we are back. Now we're back in Olivine with Jasmine. And as I said going into Morty, like, these gyms have, like, with the way we set up our moveset, like, we have coverage for pretty much a lot of the gym types. So, just like Magnemite, Fire Punch, bop, get out of here. Get gone, Magnemite. I don't know what I was doing there. Anyway, Magnemite 1 goes down. Here's Magnemite 2. And just as you expect, it's going to be a one-shot again. We're going to Fire Punch it right in its face. Right in its little beady eye. This magnet's on fire. We out here showing these gym leaders what hashtag it's mime time bitch is really all about right now. Which that ended up getting over on the stream, by the way. But anyway, here's the Steelix. Here, I'm slightly concerned if it's gonna live, which it actually does, but he misses the Iron Tail. So, but there's the Hyper Potion. So either way, it's from full health. It's a 2-shot on the Steelix unless it crits. Into which it did crit on the second one. So, crit from full health. Jasmine is defeated. Alright, we've made our way to price here. So, by the way, the reason you didn't see all the rocket stuff is, let's be honest, I absolutely destroyed them. Like, even the rival fight in Ekritique, it was just straight body all the way through. So, here we are at the prize fight. We're gonna pop the seal in the mouth with the Thunder Punch. Let's be real, dog. This thing had no chance whatsoever at surviving me. It had no shot at all. Like, that boy got wrecked. And then Dugong is going to take a Thunder Punch to the mouth as well. Surprisingly, it lives, though. Or Aurora Beam in Gen 2 has a powerful animation. Didn't do shit for damage. Anyway, he's going to take a second Thunder Punch here. And then he's going to go down. Crit totally mattered, by the way. Anyway, now the Piloswine is going to emerge here. And I do believe it's 2 Fire Punches, but let's see here. Because it's been a few days since the run. Oh, Fire Punch 1-shot. Alright. I'm alright with that. Excuse me. But Fire Punch ended up being a 1-shot on Piloswine. So don't mind me stuffing my face in the corner to obtain our 7th badge. And just as it has before, the Rockets don't stand a chance against me, so we're gonna jump to Claire. Here we are at Claire. Dab. Throw a couple of dabs in the friend name. I have a channel point redemption to make me. But anyway, again, rockets were pushovers. So here we are at Claire. We're at level 51 at this point, and at least through the 3 Dragonairs, it's a one-shot sweep all the way through them. As you see, one went down to Ice Punch. I finally changed it to set battle style, by the way, which makes the run so much easier. So a second Ice Punch takes out the Dragonair. The third Dragonair is gonna get Ice Punched right in its neck ball. Oh, hey, I picked up a follow at this point. Nice. If I remember, that guy was doing a Roserade run in his free time. So, and the Kingdra. I was unsure if we were going to get the sweep here, so I went for Thunder Punch initially, because both Ice Punch and Thunder Punch are neutral, given Kingdra's typing. So we are going to we're going to eat a surf here, because we did just about half to the Kingdra with the Thunder Punch. A crit will kill definitely here, but there was no crit. He did pop a smoke screen though. Oh, my accuracy is down. Claire's gonna heal. And then I hit my Thunder Punch. I was worried that I was gonna miss there for a second, because again, it's been a few days since I've taken a look at these. A second Thunder Punch brings it back down to red. We're gonna eat another surf. Like, outside of... Yeah, because between Whitney's Miltank and Claire's Kingdra, the gyms did not give me any sort of grief whatsoever. It took a third Thunder Punch to take down the Kingdra. And from here, it's on to the Elite Four, baby. Before we get to the Elite Four, I decided to make a quick pit stop and deal with Suicune quick. I heard you were talking shit, Suicune. Eat this Thunder Punch, bro. That's what you get for calling me fat. Asshole. Oh god, it lived. I'm sorry. I didn't. Rain dance, bro. Really? Get out of here. Legendary my ass. Here we are, y'all. Elite Four. So, pretty easy stuff here as far as Will goes. As while Psybeam is neutral, I have ways around all of his mons. So, we have the first Xatu here, which if I recall I Ice Punched. Let's see what I actually do here. Yep, I Ice Punched turn 1. And he's gonna go down. That's a one-shot. And now next is his Slowbro. Alright. So the Slowbro comes out, and then I Thunder Punch here. Slowbro is a bit of a tanky beast. He does eat one, but then he sets up the Amnesia. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem because he did not heal there. So, which allows us to get the knockout. So therefore, we should be moving on to either the second Xatu, of which I was gonna Thunder Punch, but I decided to Ice Punch it instead because Slowbro took 2 Thunder Punches. More than I would have liked him to. So, the Xatu is down. And then here is the Jinx, who's gonna take a Fire Punch to the mouth. I don't remember if this one-shots or not, though. Okay, it did. Awesome. And next up is the Executor, of which I don't remember if I fire or ice punched here. I ice punch here, and that I do, if I recall, was a one-shot. It was a one-shot. So, Elite Four will down. Koga is old man Koga. I remember beating the shit out of you with the Mime 3 years ago. Anyway, he's gonna lead with Ariados here, which, let's face it, Koga, my dude, you do not stand a chance. There's a fire punch on the Ariados. And that is, in fact, a one-shot. Now, what? Forget what he goes into directly after. I think it's the Crobat. It's the Fortress. Which, you know, hey, 4 times weak to fire. That I actually laughed at it and made that joke during the stream. Which, by the way, follow me on Twitch. So, the Fortress goes down. And then next up, I do believe, is, yep, there's the Crobat. So, I thought it was a good idea to go for Ice Punch here. Thinking, it's not gonna live an Ice Punch. It lived on 1. Hits me with a wing attack. Lovely! And I thought about it directly after. I'm like, why didn't I just go for Psybeam that is stab and super effective? Ugh. But, you know, I like to make things a little more interesting from time to time. So, we pop him with a Thunder Punch here. But here's where I make the realization, hey, I should have just Psybeamed. He'd have been dead by now. I wouldn't have had to have used 3 moves on it. But anyway, that gives us the level up. We're at 56 at this point. And here comes the Venomoth, of which I'm going to use Psybeam on. And that should be a one-shot, and it is. Koga's team doesn't really like fire too much. Or psychics. Anyway, here is the Muck. We're going to pop Psybeam here. And I do believe this was a one-shot as well, if I recall. Oh, it wasn't! Alright, alright. But he sets up the Minimize to try to up his evasion. I do believe we actually missed the Psybeam. He hits us with Toxic. Toxic! Shout out to my boy Bradware. Follow him on Twitch too. Anyway, our next Psybeam hits, winning us the fight. And I do believe, if I recall, I did in fact heal after this. So, on to Bruno. It is time for Bruno. So, Bruno don't appreciate my Mime very much either. So he's gonna leave the Hitmontop here. It looked like it did like a floss kind of move. But anyway, we're gonna pop Psybeam off on the Hitmontop. I'm pretty sure it one-shots, and it does. For the most part, Bruno is like one-shot sweep. Now, here, if I recall, I just Psybeamed, because I was just like, you know, I've been one-shotting a lot of these things to this point. I thought nothing of it. Then Onyx goes down. Hey, Anna with the host. Go follow Aquila7x on Twitch, by the way. Lovely, lovely lady. Also a Pokemon caster. Anyway, so the Hitmon League comes out. It's going to catch a Psybeam right into the face. And that should be a one-shot as well. So, we are now on to the Hitmonchan, which, again, Oh, it actually hits a Mach Punch. I did forget about that. I did honestly forget that he had that. So this Psybeam is going to be a one shot as well. Get up out of here. Hitmonchan. Get up out of here. So, in comes the Machamp. More like the Machamp in this case. I actually did make a Machamp joke in the stream, but more like a Machamp. Anyways, Machamp goes down. He has now felt the effects of it being Mime time. So that is Bruno defeated. On to the more, you know what, I think I go straight in, actually. Do I go straight in or do I heal first? Okay, I heal first. But we're going straight, you know what? Let's cut it in. We're going straight to Karen. No, this girl did not ask for the manager, guys. Alright, so Karen here gave us the most trouble we've had since Whitney. And you'll see why here in a second. As we all know, Karen leads with my boy Umbreon. That is a tanky boy indeed. Even with being 14 levels higher, it's not a one-shot. I think it's actually a 3-shot. Alright, our Fire Punch lands, though. We do get the accuracy drop, but there's a Fire Punch going into... He missed a Sand Attack, so we're only down 1 accuracy. It is a 3-shot, I think. A 4-shot, rather, with Fire Punch. Thunder Punch and Ice Punch would have done about the same damage. So, we ended up 4-shotting the Umbreon. Now, here's where I do believe it even gets a little trickier. Nope, actually that's the next one. Alright, so she sends out the Murkrow here, of which we break through Confusion, Thunder Punch, easy clap. I had 2 separate ways of dealing with the Murkrow. I could have Ice Punched or I could have Thunder Punched. I decided to use Thunder Punch in this case because I needed the Ice Punches for Lance. So, Houndoom. This is what I was afraid of. Our Thunder Punch missed. That's a crunch. That's going to be painful. Takes us down to about half. We end up throwing the Thunder Punch back. Alright, but it only does a little over a third. So, we're down to 12 health at this point. And this is where I'm like, ah, shit. I did not pick up healing. I had that max potion, surprisingly, in the bag because I didn't buy heals before the Elite Four fight. Houndoom does what you would expect of him to do damage with. We get him down to the red. This crunch will get us into the red at 11 health left. There's the max potion on the Houndoom. Thusly, you can just see I'm feeling defeated in my face right now. We end up getting another Thunder Punch off, which this time crits and does well over half. So, and we outspeed the Houndoom in this case because we're 10 levels higher, thusly killing the Houndoom on the next Thunder Punch. That crit absolutely mattered. And from here, it's one-stop shopping. We're going to pop the Psybeam on the Gengar. That's going to drop him, or her rather in this case. So, and it was a crit. That time the crit didn't matter. He was getting one-shotted regardless. Gengar doesn't really have special defense to speak of. So here comes the Vileplume. And here I'm debating whether I want to use Fire Punch, Ice Punch, or Psybeam. And then here, I remember this later. Wait, Vileplume's a poison type. Let's use Psybeam. Yeah. So Psybeam ends up getting the job done. That was the hardest battle I've had since Whitney. On to Lance. Alright, y'all, so it is Lance time. So, here. The final battle. The main story. I also am a scrub. And didn't heal. Because I couldn't. And I actually misclicked on Ice Punch when I wanted to hit Thunder Punch, which caused that. So, in the rules stated earlier, I can use a revive turn if I need to. Remembering, oh hey, I have this max revive in my pocket. We're gonna let the bird take some damage here, and then I'm gonna come back out with the Mime. So, that's because I'm a dork and misclicked. If I didn't misclick there, I probably would have one-shot the Gyarados with Thunder Punch. But, you know, I still did almost close to half off of a Thunder Punch, or Ice Punch rather. So we come back in with the Mime, Thunder Punch, fresh off the revive turn, for what would have our initial move, which would have been a one-shot. Get to level 58 there. And then here he sends out the first of his 3 Dragonites, which leads up to 47. We're gonna Ice Punch here, nice and 4 times effective. The Dragonites posed no threat to me. Absolutely no threat to me. Like, I done bodied them. Straight bodied them. As you'll see here in just a second. So the next Dragonite comes out. And it's another one-shot sweep. Punch again. And here comes the Aerodactyl, who is going to get one shot with Ice Punch as well. The only thing on Lance's team that takes Ice Punch well is his Charizard, because, you know, it's neutral hit as opposed to super effective. So here's, speaking of said Charizard, we're going to drop a Thunder Punch here, because he doesn't appreciate Thunder Punch still. He looks at you be like, ice moves? Pah! But surprisingly, the Charizard ended up living the Thunder Punch, getting a crit with Slash, but then falling to a second Thunder Punch there, which leads to the big boy. Lance's ace, his level 50 Dragonite. Will this Dragonite make all the world a difference for him? Nope. No, he will not. Ice Punch. Super effective. 4 times effective. Get out of here! Hall of Fame! As we get put into the Hall of Fame here, what's absolutely fantastic, we ended up beating the Elite Four at level 59 on our Mime. Now, I'm going to make something evident. Going into it, initially, I did not plan to have the Spearow or Water Onyx on the team going into the Elite Four. I had actually forgotten to take them off the team. So, that is where the max revive turn happened. And so I wanted to clarify that I was only able to get the max revive turn in the Lance fight due to a goof I made earlier in entering the Elite Four. So, I'm just gonna be real with you for a second. I know it's a little dark in here, don't mind that. But, I'm gonna turn that down just a quick tad. So, I thought I'd come at you with the face here. I'm gonna be real with you. All of Kanto was an absolute breeze, okay? It was one-shots on everything, even blue. So, you just saw us beat Lance, we're gonna jump to red. Oh man, red's a doozy. Here it is, our first attempt at red. Oh man. So, we are at level 68 when we first battle red. Pikachu doesn't really pose much of an issue, as more often than not he'll go for Charm rather than... Oh, by the way, our final moveset: Fire Punch, Psychic, Thunderbolt, Ice Punch, if you were wondering. So this is our first attempt at red. We're gonna hit Psychic here. Pikachu, with him having Thunder is a very inaccurate move, as you see by the miss right there. And we outspeed his Pikachu. However, he does full restore here. So, I'm gonna have to end up three-shotting the Pikachu with Psychic at level 68. Now, he full restores again. This would have been a two-shot had he not full restored twice. So, I think it was 4 Psychics later, the Pikachu finally goes down. Yep, 4 Psychics later, which should have only been 2, the Pikachu goes down. And now, here's where we run into our first issue. His Espeon. In Heart Gold, Soul Silver, he does replace the Espeon, I do believe, with Lapras or something like that. I don't remember. But we hit a Thunderbolt after it sets up Reflect. Thunderbolt is not doing much. Espeon hits us with Psychic, which I follow that up with Ice Punch. Now, what I've come to notice is at level 68, it's a speed tie with the Espeon. So, that does not prove well for us. The Espeon ends up getting us to about half, but then the speed tie ends up kicking in, so the Espeon ended up moving first there, and dropped our Spidef, but we end up killing the Espeon there. And here is where the wall happens. Snorlax. Because I tried for the burn here. As soon as he kills... That was a crit, by the way. Without the burn. Because of the whole speed tie fiasco with the Espeon, we don't live a body slam. So at that point, this is a lost cause. So let's get to a run where we get a little better. Alright, so here we end up saving in front of red. Now, we end up trying again at level 70. So here's the battle now. But yes. Here's our attempt, I think, like 6 tries later. we end up doing a little grind time. We grind it up to level 70 in this particular run. Alright, so we hit Pikachu with the Psychic. As you know from when we were at level 68, he was just barely surviving Psychic. So, at level 70, Psychic one-shots the Pikachu. And now he sends out the Espeon. At 68, it was a speed tie. I now outspeed the Espeon. So, we're going to be popping off a Thunderbolt here. It does a little around a third. He sets up the Reflect. I get another Thunderbolt off. So this should bring him about 2/3, and he hits a Psychic of his own. Now, for the love of God, do not hit the Spadef drop, is what I'm thinking here. And he does not hit the Spadef drop, which this is going to drop the Espeon right here. So Espeon takes 3 Thunderbolts, and then we're just short of level 71. Now we're back up to the wall. I like to think I'm in a decent position at this point. So we are free to click Thunderbolt, because I tried to paralyze it. Okay? That didn't do shit. And his special defense went up. So now I have to start using Psychics to try to get the Spadef drop. And even then, he just eats it up, dude. He's eating it up like it's nothing. And then gets us some crit, which from there, it's essentially a reset. We have to grind again. Hey, guess what? Apparently, I forgot I had a Max Revive on me. So, we're gonna Max Revive here, because hey, I can use my HM slaves as sacrificial lamb. So, we end up Max Reviving the Mime, let the Spearow just eat a Body Slam. But keep in mind, Snorlax still does have his special defense boosts. So here, we're going to have to Psychic to try to lower his Spadef. Because his Spadef is up 2. And even then, like, we did get 1 special defense drop, which was nice. But here's the Body Slam. The last one crit and killed us. This one does just about half. So we need a crit ourselves. Is it going to happen on this particular turn? No. The Body Slam does kill, which is in effect, affectionately pretty much a reset at this point. Because I only have the 1 Max Revive. And here you see me checking my bag for anything else. I only have the 1 Max Revive. So therefore, a reset. We're gonna have to do a little bit of grind. So we end up coming back. This time we're at level 72. So Pikachu's gonna go down as you expected to. It's gonna get one-shot by Psychic. Ever since we started the level 70 attempts, he was getting one-shotted. And also, I did not have a max elixir in this whole entire thing. Okay. So, because I grinded right in front of red, so I didn't have to like go too far. But this may or may not cost me later. So the Espeon is up, and I hit an Ice Punch on it. I should have probably just Thunderbolted, but I didn't. And then he ends up hitting a Psychic on me. No Spadef drop, thankfully. And now we hit an Ice Punch again. He hits a Psychic again. Which brings me to at or around half. Here's where I decide, okay, it's Thunderbolting time. Because he's at around, just about 2/3. And then the Espeon's going to go down there. Now, he sends out the Snorlax. Snorlax, of which has become a bane of my existence at this point in this entire fight with Red. We end up hitting Psychic there. It does just about 1/3. He pops the Amnesia to boost his special defense. We end up getting a crit psychic though. And here is where the tides of battle turn. He did not try to go for rest, and I outsped. So, since he went for body slam here, it's gonna kill me, right? Remember, I got that max revive in my pocket. I got the max revive in the pocket. Here is where things go in our favor. I'll let this one play out instead of using rest. Don't rest. RNGesus, you're on my side today. Woo! RNGesus was in fact on our side that day. So, because he doesn't use rest on the revive turn, that allows me to come back in and knock out the Snorlax. Now, next up is Charizard. Here we are going to Thunderbolt, which I do believe ends up being a one-shot. I'm pretty sure it's a one. Yep, that's a one-shot. So, the Zard is down. Next up, I thought he was going to send out Venusaur here, but he ends up sending out the Blastoise, which I end up Thunderbolting. And believe it or not, the Blastoise actually lived a crit Thunderbolt to set up the rain. Like a goof. By the way, my exact words when I pointed at the camera was like, "You fool!" So, Blastoise being an absolute fool, setting up Rain Dance instead of attacking. I mean, it did put me into a weird position going into Venusaur. Thinking, okay, Venusaur will probably attack me because he's going to live that. Because it's a non-stab super effective. Hits me with the Giga Drain. Okay, gets a good chunk of that health back. Because that did a bit of Pog damage right there. So I use my last Ice Punch here. Now, Venusaur pulls off a "you fool" move because he ends up living on one. Sets up the sun. Like an absolute dingleberry, he set up the sun to allow the Fire Punch to take him out. Thusly concluding the run. RNGesus having the Snorlax not use rest on the revive turn is what saved this battle for me. If Snorlax rests 3 turns later, if I don't kill him in 3 turns, it's a reset again and we're grinding again. But at level 73, 1 level shy of what we did in yellow, we defeat the entirety of Pokemon Crystal.